Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because you will find my videos interesting and intriguing. Like my videos by simply tapping on the like button, and of course be part of the conversation by simply sharing your views or your opinions rather in the comment section. Now today's exploration takes us back into the heart of global politics as we delve into the highly anticipated interview between Carlson and our Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now from the time he posted a promo video of the interview with Putin, people have been anxious to watch the whole interview. In a 2-hour talk, the pair covered history, politics, and war. Ukrainians and Russia watchers say it was simply propaganda, a meeting that has sparked intrigue and speculation. Now, in this interview, we dissect the key moments, analyze the implications, and navigate the broader context surrounding this exclusive conversation. So fasten your seatbelts as we embark on a journey through the recent and consequential tete-a-tete between Carlson and Putin, unraveling the layers of insight and controversy it brings to the forefront of international discourse. For now, check out these videos and hear what people had to say about this interview. I will be right back.
I hope you guys paid as much attention to this interview as you do to your celebrity magazines and your Grammy nominations, because this interview was an interview of a lifetime. Any journalist out there knows that this was an interview of a lifetime. And at the exact same moment while they are speaking, they are talking about history. This man could hold down a conversation for over 2 hours with a reporter without losing his temper, screaming. I mean, we can't say the same about our officials because they held a press conference and our leader, our president, starts yelling at people asking questions and throwing a temper tantrum because the puppeteer strings are unraveling. The narrative is unraveling. He talked about his history. He talked about peace, which we haven't heard that side of the story. And it's so important that you guys understand when a world leader like this is saying, I'd be up for negotiations of peace. You guys, the narrative is not the same. And the fact that he points a finger that it doesn't matter who our president is, our country is ran by elitists. This interview was monumental because it's saying the stuff we already knew was happening, but at the same time, he said it in such a calm way that we're so blinded by propaganda and that we control the news and we discuss what we think is true and we control the narrative even though if it's not the correct narrative. So what do you think about him discussing about peace, talking about peace, talking about his history? It was refreshing to see a world leader be able to have a conversation for 2 hours straight without losing his mind or temper or being told which staircase to walk down or being confused. Oh, wait, that's our leaders. That's our leaders that can't figure out which staircase to walk down. Go watch this interview. I'm not going to post clips from this interview because I think every person needs to go watch this interview, and you guys need to start tuning in on what's happening in our country, watching the hearing cases, seeing what they vote on, watching our Senate, watching what is actually happening instead of little 10-second clips of propaganda. You need to watch it. You need to research it. You need to understand what is happening currently in our world affairs because everything that's happening in the world right now is affecting everything. So go watch this. Let me know what you saw. Let me know what you think. We all have difference of opinions, but here it's an open forum. We can discuss it. We can talk about it. But you need to do your research, you guys.
I'm originally adopted by a family from Houston, and I really hope that you watched Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin. To this day, I'm a dual citizen. I can go to Russia and I can stay in America. If you have been watching my content for the past couple of months, you understand that I stand on business. I don't bull. The whole interview was as simple as making scrambled eggs, to be honest with you. There was no eye for an eye mentality. It's just admit the mistakes we made and move on. But you see, there's so much money at stake, it's ridiculous to the point where nobody wants to admit it or nobody want to be humble. United States of America has sent so much money overseas in billions and billions of dollars where we have homeless people, homeless veterans, $33 trillion in debt. Meanwhile, we have a border crisis and 80% of America broke. That means 8 out of 10 people being broke. Meanwhile, our president can't even say a sentence on a national television. And if you didn't know, Indians and Russians are the same people. We didn't want to fight in the first place, but it's all about the money. Do your own research and figure out what is best for you. You're in the United States yapping about something that's happening overseas. are you going to do anything about it? Take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of the ones that are close to you. Politics are the biggest piece of dog you can ever even think of. In my head, politics only done good at separating people, and that's what they're good at. Democrats, Republicans, whatever it is division. Please do mind, we're all the same people. It don't matter what the color you are, purple, yellow, who gives a... You got your own brain, you got your own heart. It is absolutely mental, but at the same time, just please, please think we can for one time.
Vladimir Putin said something very interesting the other day. He said that Odessa is a Russian city. Now, the thing about Putin is he doesn't waste words. Vladimir Putin's not a guy that go out and say things. He's not an American politician trying to impress people. When he speaks, his words have meaning, and he says nothing lightly. So when Vladimir Putin comes out and says, no, Odessa city, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Odessa is going to be a city. That means this war ain't over until it takes Odessa, fills off the Black Sea coast. Now, why do I want to do this? Oh, maybe because Great Britain and the United States helped you turn the Odessa area into a platform to threaten the fleet in Sevastopol and make Crimea, to make things untenable in Crimea. We will never allow ever again to be used in that fashion. So this war cannot end until Odessa and the Black Sea coast as being a potential strategic zone of operations to threaten Crimea. Crimea is very important. So Black Sea's lost it. This war won't end until they have it. I spoke to a senior who says he thinks that that offensive may begin sometime in the May-June time period. Now, why that long? Well, I don't know, because if you're going to take Odessa, you got to take Mykolaiv. If you're going to take Mykolaiv, you got to take Dnepropetrovsk. If you take Dnepropetrovsk, you got to secure Kharkov. And so now we just identified what they're going to do. Kharkov, Dnepropetrovsk, Mykolaiv, Odessa.
All right, credit where credit is due. Tucker Carlson pressing Vladimir Putin on the release of the Wall Street Journal reporter yesterday. That's good journalism. Credit where it's due. I'm going to be honest, I couldn't really listen to the rest of it. The whole translation aspect of it, like just the whole style. So I'd rather read articles and get updated. But that's what I saw. I saw the clips going around of Tucker Carlson really pressing the president. Let's play a little clip for you.
If as a sign of your decency, you would be willing to release him to us and we'll bring him back to the United States.
We have done so many gestures of goodwill out of decency that I think we have run out of them.
You either love Tucker Carlson or you hate him, but to me, this was one of those moments where this is a big-time move in a big-time spot. Evan Gershkovich, Wall Street Journal, has been detained literally just for reporting. That's it. And so he's paying a big price, obviously, being detained there.
What makes this different is the guy's obviously not a spy. He's a kid. And maybe he was breaking your law in some way, but he's not a super spy, and everybody knows that. And he's being held hostage in exchange, which is true. With respect, it's true, and everyone knows it's true. So maybe he's in a different category. Maybe it's not fair to ask for, somebody else in exchange for letting him out. Maybe it degrades it to do that.
Tucker Carlson is using his platform, using his voice, using the opportunity to vouch for this guy, because clearly other methods are not working right now. And maybe this doesn't work. Maybe this is nothing, but in terms of what I was expecting out of this interview, this was not one of the things I was expecting, and maybe I should have been expecting this, but love him or hate him, this is one of those moments I think that should be considered universal. This is a good move by him in a good spot. What happened around it, I got to do more research on. I'm diagnose it, and I really hate the whole translation interview portion anyway type thing, so I'll read about it. But unless he did something so egregious around this in this conversation, I got to imagine people can give him credit for this spot. So
I hope you let him out.
Now that we've set the stage with anticipation surrounding the Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin interview, let's dive into the buzzing world of reactions and analysis. Now, social media is abuzz, news outlets are dissecting every word, and the global community is sharing a myriad of opinions. Some viewers are praising the interview for its candid moments and the opportunity to gain insights into Putin's perspective on various global issues. Others, however, are scrutinizing the interview, questioning its depth and challenging the dynamics at play. As we navigate through the diverse landscape of opinions, it becomes clear that this conversation is not merely a diplomatic exchange, but a catalyst for intense discourse. Now, people are discussing the answers, the questions asked, and perhaps more critically, the questions that were left unanswered. Now, as we go deep into talking about this issue, we will explore the key takeaways, address the criticisms, and shine a light on the broader implications of this interview. Join me as we dissect the multifaceted responses to the Tucker Carlson and Putin encounter, providing a comprehensive understanding of the impact it's making in the spheres of media, politics, and public perception. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has told conservative US journalist Tucker Carlson that ending Moscow's almost 2-year-old invasion of Ukraine is simple. In his first interview with a Western reporter since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine began 2 years ago, the Kremlin handpicked Carlson, a former Fox News superstar turned online commentator. Now, the reason is obvious. Carlson has characterized the Russia-Ukraine war as a border dispute, called on Americans to cut off multi-billion aid packages to Kyiv, and compared Ukrainian president to something that I'm not going to mention. But during the 2-hour interview recorded in a Kremlin audience hall with gilded furniture, Carlson did not pressure Putin the way he used to sandbag the pro-Democrat guests on the Fox News show he was fired from last year. Putin's goal appears obvious. He wanted Carlson to aid Republicans to stop supporting Ukraine and concentrate on domestic problems. You have issues on the border, issues with migration, issues with the national dirt, Putin told Carlson, who looked gullible and sheepish for most of their sit-down. You have nothing better to do, so you should fight in Ukraine. Wouldn't it be better to negotiate with Russia? Now, when Carlson asked whether Putin could just call US President Joe Biden to work it out, Putin refused but said the solution was very simple. If you really want to stop fighting, you need to stop supplying weapons. It will be over within a few weeks. That's it. Then we can agree on some terms, he said. Carlson did not even try to refute Putin's outlandish and ungrounded claims. One was Putin's belief that elected leaders do not run the United States. So twice you've described US presidents making decisions and then being undercut by their agency heads. So it sounds like you're describing a system that's not run by the people who are elected in your telling, Carlson said. That's right, Putin said without offering further explanation, and Carlson readily agreed. Now, then he asked Putin who was behind the 2022 explosion in the Baltic Sea that damaged Nord Stream, a natural gas pipeline from Russia to Germany that was crucial for Moscow's coffers. Carlson called it the biggest act of industrial terrorism ever, but did not dispute Putin's claim that it was the CIA that had allegedly blown up the pipeline and presented no concrete evidence whatsoever. Now, Putin began the interview with a lengthy lecture on Eastern Europe's history in which he reiterated the Kremlin's manipulative view on Kievan Rus, a medieval superpower whose disintegration spawned today's Russia and Ukraine. Carlson seemed completely ignorant about the issue and just kept nodding in bewilderment when Putin told him about a Viking prince named Rurik whose descendants ruled Kievan Rus. One of them, Prince Vladimir, converted to Orthodox Christianity a millennium ago. Now, according to Putin's logic, Russia was the only legitimate successor to Kievan Rus, and the very idea of Ukraine was invaded by Russia's Akrivo Austria. Now, to other Ukrainian observers, the interview offered nothing but tired Kremlin tropes. The only remarkable thing in this interview is the size of the table. It's tiny. And to a Russian observer, the interview is a Kremlin public relations stunt designed to convince average Russians that Putin's war did not turn their nation into an international pariah spanned by the West. They want to show that Russia doesn't confront the civilized world, but only separate elites within it, to sort of emphasize that there are other elites, and here's a world journalist interviewing Putin, and that once these elites win elections, the West will admit that Russia is right, referring to Donald Trump's possible victory in the November presidential vote and to the recent success of several nationalist and far-right groups in Europe. The interview's timing was critical for Ukraine. On Wednesday, Republicans blocked a multi-billion aid package that was critical for Kyiv, while Zelensky announced his highly decision to fire Valery Zaluzhnyi, the highly trusted and influential top general. However, to Ukrainian servicemen, the interview is nothing but a demonstration of weakness. They are tools trying to support each other, trying to voice their conspiracy theories, said Valentin, a Ukrainian drone operator stationed in the eastern region, who watched parts of the interview on his cell phone. They can't face the truth about Ukraine that is real and will prevail, he told Al Jazeera by the phone. We have come to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on this? What is your take? Kindly share your views in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.